I have H out of the block. I've got it out of the, I've got, okay, have you ever busted up a concrete block? Did you get one of these?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you see the ring, but you only see the bottom part of the ring. You think about it. You got one block of concrete and you see the bottom of the ring in it, but you can't pull it out. That's where we are right now. Okay, we don't have a block anymore, but we've got a piece right here that's got the ring in it. So, what do you do with the other piece that doesn't have the ring in it? Throw it away. You don't need it, so put it over there. So, V squared H is equal to R squared 2G minus V squared, big R, now what? Divide by V squared, and you're done.
That's not an extra addition here.
H is equal to R squared 2G minus V squared R over V squared. There is one more step you can do to cancel the V squareds out. Do they cancel the V squareds out?
The answer is H equals 2R squared G over V squared minus big R.
Over V squared?
Yeah.
They had to distribute this. They must have used R cubed plus R squared H as a common denominator. It's the only thing I can see. We can do that. We'll go do that. Let's move this over. Let me get rid of this. Why I do things for y'all? I just don't understand. I do so much for y'all. Huh?
Don't do stuff for me.
Oh, whatever.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, but you get breakfast every morning. That's not much, is it? I would die.
What do you get while you're watching a movie at night? What do I go in and make?
Popcorn.
No, sweet.
Ice cream.
Yeah, it's got ice cream in it. What I make
Sundays?
you?
Reese's milkshake.
Mm-hmm.
What? Reese's milkshake. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna come look at you. I ain't kidding. You can make me one of those every night.
Chocolate ice cream,
Mm-hmm. And
milk, and put a little spoonful of peanut butter in it. Put it in a bullet. I couldn't live without my bullet.
Oh, sounds like heaven.
All right. So, but he doesn't get anything.
No, apparently not. No. Nope.
All right, so this one is the common denominator if you distribute, and that's the only thing I can see that you're doing.
Here. It doesn't look like that either.
No, wait a minute.
Here.
They're cross multiplying. That's what they're doing. And I don't cross multiply
Yeah,
because then,
I don't like it.
yeah, this is what they're doing. They're saying B squared R plus H is equal to 2G R squared, and then distribute here. B squared R plus B squared H is equal to 2G R squared.
Yeah, but that's the same, man.
I don't know what they're doing.
Oh.
Now, let me do this before we stop. Let me do this and let me see if we get the same thing. H is equal to R squared 2G over B squared minus, sit down, B squared R, oh gosh, here we go. B squared R squared. Okay, I'm not really wanting to do this right now. B squared R over over b squared. And that goes out. H is equal to r squared 2g minus r. This is over b squared. The only thing, that's the only other answer I can get.
That's the same pretty much except for the 2's in front of the r's.
Yeah, these are the same answers. Okay, the reason they're different is because here I took away what was in common. I canceled that out, whereas here I didn't. And the only reason I didn't here is because I can't until I put both of these terms over what?
1.
One denominator, or each denominator. And then I can take, and that's what I did here. Okay? Either of these answers is fine. And if you did it on a test and you got it wrong, I'll give you points. Okay? All right, let's move into another homework question. And I'm going to let y'all work on this one so y'all can get discouraged.
What?
Because my job is to make you fail. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a test question. Let's see. Solve this for R. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our tool. Okay, where's my... What happened to my problem? Where'd it go?
7.5, number 33.
Yeah, but where'd it go?
I don't know.
Okay, there it is. My tool. This is a test question, so this is a good one to go by. This is the kind I would put on the test. If I ever get it up there. Now, what does that, what does x sub f mean? Well, this could mean x at the time of departure, and this could be x at the final destination. That's all. It depends on what the question's asking.
And we're solving for R?
Big R, but you're not worried about that yet. Yeah, you're solving for big R. I would suggest quitting.
It's not an option.
Yes, I want y'all to go to Break My Professor. I want to cancel out what they old, said last time. Unless y'all gonna agree with her.
Yeah.
I figured. So what's the denominator? What's the common denominator?
1 minus R.
1 minus r. So you're going to multiply through. Now, if you get a little bit confused, what do you do first? Make everything a what?
Fraction.
X sub t over
1.
1 equals x sub f over 1 minus big R. And I'm going to multiply through by... Now, a lot of people say, well, Hubert, why don't you just cross multiply? Well, if I put a plus x out here, can you still cross multiply?
No.
No. So learn 2 rules or 1 rule?
1.
1. Multiply through by the common denominator. And the common denominator is going to be 1 minus big R over 1. Put the baby step in there. You need 1 minus big R over 1. 1 minus big R over 1. Notice I have not said anything about what?
What we're solving.
I have not said anything about that because I don't need to know that right now. X sub t over 1 equals x sub f over 1 minus r. Those cancel. And handy dandy reducer. Wouldn't it be nice to have a reducer in real life?
Yeah.
You can eat whatever you want.
Or if we could just put it where we want it.
Or just reduce people down to nothing, like plankton.
Yeah, I wish I would have done that some people last night. Daddy.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking about. I've got a couple of favorite episodes, and they all involve plankton.
Uh-huh.
I love plankton. All right, so 1 minus r, x sub t times 1 minus r is equal to x sub f. I bet we're solving for big R.
Yeah.
So what do you got to do? You got to bust up the block because the ring is in the block. Finish it out. And if you can't finish it, just,
Quit.
there you go. You're learning. That's the best thing to do. When the tough gets going, what do?
Run the other way.
Quit and blame it on Bush. So x sub t minus r times x sub t is equal to x sub f. Now what? Well, you got two little blocks of concrete here. This one you don't even need, so throw it on the other side. You'll love my analogies, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So that's going to be negative r x sub t is equal to x sub f minus x sub t. You're supposed to ask me where did I get the block of cement idea from.
I figured it was something that had happened before.
It was what I came up with when I was a student in algebra. When I was in Math 110. Because I never could figure out why we distribute. I used to get so mad when a friend of mine would go, "No, you got that wrong." And I would get mad because when you distribute through a negative, it what?
Makes it positive.
But I didn't know when to distribute. I didn't know when to do that. And I came up with that. And I've been using it ever since. And that was, I took Math 110 back in 88 or 89. So that's how long I've been using it.
Oh, Lord, I was on 3.
Yep. Remember, I'm old as dirt. All right, so what are we solving for?
R. Big R.
So, but I want it positive.
Yeah, so you take the negative xt.
Good job. Divide by negative x sub t. Divide by negative x sub t. Now, since they are canceling out when they can, put all of this over the denominator. So, I'm going to do that. That cancels, and you're left with r is equal to x sub f minus x sub t. This is one way of writing it. Minus, put the minus out front when you put your answer in, because they like for it to be out front. And then hit the fraction button over x sub t. That's one way to write it, and it's not wrong if you write it like that. The other way to write it, r is equal to x sub r.
That's F, supposed to be.
F, thank you. X sub f over x sub t minus x sub t over x sub t. And what happens to the x sub t's? 1. Make sure you don't put a 0. R is equal to x sub f over x sub t minus 1. And they will probably say that that's a simplified answer because it takes less strokes of a pen to do the 1 than it does to do this. And that's the only difference between simplification of two terms. How many times it takes the pen to write it. So those are your two answers.
And that's still negative, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just put a little negative on there, we'll know it's negative.
well, this will be negative. You could distribute it and make this negative and make this positive if you wanted to.
Okay.
But I'm just going to put a negative out front right here. How about that?
Works.
All right, so that's 3 problems. Let's do one more because this is where students have problems. They have problems with clearing the fraction. What number was that?
7.5.
There it is, 33. I would like to find one that will be really, really, really discouraging to you. That looks good. Let me do the snipping tool. So you can see it on a clean sheet of paper. Sorry. Insert. There you go. Now, I pretty much know what we're going to solve for by the way it looks, but I'm not even going to say it. You don't even need to know right now. I want you to clear the fraction first. There's nothing sweeter than caramel.
Are we going to have more word problems?
Oh, yeah.
Aww.
So about my daughter.
I don't like them.
I love
Reading.
math.
I love math, I just hate reading.
I love reading.
It's a good book, I like reading it, but
I wish I could read. A lot of you say, what are you talking about? When I read,
The only book
Go to
that
sleep.
reads
I
the
fall
Holy
asleep.
Bible.
I wish somebody would tell me why I do that.
I do it too.
I can't read a page. I fall asleep.
I'm taking the technology and culture class online, and it's nothing but reading, which is interesting
I
stuff.
fall asleep reading on the computer. If I have to read like 2 or 3 pages on the computer, I'll sit there and go to sleep.
But I couldn't go to sleep the other night, 2:30 in the morning. I was like, well, I'll read
Flop.
2 pages and I was out. Yep.
All right, y'all done? Y'all
Yep.
feel
We
good
don't know what
about
we're solving
yourself?
for.
Huh?
We don't know what we're solving for, so we have to be done kind of
You
sort.
solving for Big T, probably.
I can't find it.
That's what I'm gonna solve for, so. We'll look and see what they solve for after I do it, but we're gonna solve for Big T. Big Dan T. A is equal to, common denominator, sorry. I was going to go ahead and print all these things. Gotta remember, some of y'all need to baby step. Multiply through by 4 big T plus Q over 1. 4T plus Q over 1.
That was really hard. I mean, I don't think you figured, yeah.
Huh?
That A. It's too hard.
I know. I'll do that one for you.
Okay.
4CS plus QZ over 4T plus Q. Take our blue pen and nothing cancels over here. A times 4T plus Q equals, what happens here?
It just cancels out.
And that leaves you with 4T
S.
little s plus Q
Little Z.
Z. And now we're going to solve for big T. So the first thing I got to do is, this is one of my, big T, yeah, there's only one big T. This is in the concrete block, so I've got to bust it up. And that's going to give me A times 4T plus A times Q is equal to 4T sub S. Is that sub S or T times S? Because if that's T times S, we got to get all the T's on one side. That looks like T times S. So that makes a difference. Plus what? Q, Z. So what do you got to do with all your T's? Get them on one side, Hubert. That's right, class. So this one's got to come across the river, and this one's got to go across the river. And when you go across the river, what happens?
You change your sign.
Become dead. Yep. The opposite of life is what? Death. What does that got to do with anything? Well, in ancient Egypt, where'd the pharaohs go? They went across the what when they died? They went across the river. Dang old art and architecture, dang old art history. I love that class.
I
Took
did
3
too.
classes of it.
Art is-
I took 3 architecture. Loved it. That's the rest of the professor too. That's why I took 3. She was like, I was a caveman back then.
You have smokestacks.
No, I was at Clemvine at that time. No, nobody would put smokestacks on a pickup truck. Nobody would do that back then. People would laugh at you. Well, they do now too. They laugh at you now too for doing that. But
Well, I thought you wasn't getting money.
huh?
I laugh at them for what
A lot of people say, "Why is your truck so loud, Hubert?" I said, "Because the guy that owned it before I did was a younger guy, and he thought it sounded good, so he had all the muffler system taken off. You know how much it cost to put it back? About $1,200. So it's better to ask for what? Forgiveness than to what? ask for permission, so I'm just gonna leave it like it is.
I like how it sounds.
What's he looking at on that phone? Huh? Oh, y'all wanna see something funny?
Yeah. Don't you do it.
Video with you with your unicorn helmet on. That's hilarious.
Don't you.
I'll have to find it.
Oh, I'll be so embarrassed.
No, not when you're here. I'm not gonna show it to him while you're
Go
here.
ahead, yeah.
No, I gotta find it. It's somewhere on my phone. All right, so I want that. I want that. If your sister ever gets rid of that, I want it. So you have to go through the trash if she ever gets rid of it. It's a unicorn head.
It's
Right
a
out of-
unicorn mask.
Yeah, it's made out of mask stuff, plastic. And he put it on one day and put his camera up and he started dancing. And it is hilarious. All right. Minus
Yes.
4 big T S
Equals
Q.
Z minus AQ.
Listen to Miss Whiny over here. I don't know what I'm doing.
I can do it when we're in here talking about it. I'll get home and look at the homework and I won't remember how to do any of it.
That's why you look at the video. And I'm not being, that's why the videos are so good. Not just because of me, but.
I'll be
All
watching
right.
those videos for problem stuff.
What'd you say?
I'll be watching those videos all the time for problem
Mhm.
stuff. Cause I ain't gonna know nothing.
All right, how's that?
No.
Equals.
Would you leave that? Okay, never mind. Right.
What?
Would
I
you
did not bring out a 4 with that T.
No, because you're
No, you're
figuring out
solving
the T.
4T.
What else?
You're solving 4T, so don't pull out the 4T. You're solving for the variable T, not 4T.
So.
Now, I realize that I put a couple of baby steps in here. All right, there's about 3 or 4 steps you could leave out. Okay?
I like the baby steps.
But I have found that the baby steps is the best way to show students, especially if it's intimidating. And is this one intimidating? Yes. So T is equal to, you could factor out a Q right here, just to make it
And Z minus A.
Z minus, no, and a 4. You could factor out a 4 down here. Okay.
I found it.
All right. Q, and that's Z minus big A, over, and we'll take Miss Burdett's 4 out. How about that, Miss Burdett? And that leaves you with A minus what?
Yes.
S. And that's it. Now, you don't have to write it like that. You can write it like this if you want to. All right, you need to send this to me. Send it to hmcclure@tctc.edu.
Now you can do it.
I don't know how to work in my phone. They fast accurate.
All you gotta do is go to Safari.
Okay, well, good. You need to send it to me. Share it. All right. So everybody good here?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. How many is that? 4 or 3 that I
That
give
was
you?
4.
All right. You got 4. Y'all should be able to do those.
I do not know what to type.
hmcclure@tctc.edu. All right. Now, let's talk about the last part of whatever chapter and section you're on.
7.5.
Thank you. Variation. This is just an extension of formulas. There's 3 types of variation. There is direct, there is inverse, and then there is joint. Sit down, Mom. Now, when you're dealing with the variations, there's several type of problems. One type of problem is they're going to ask you to find K. And that's all they're going to do. They're going to give you numbers, and you plug and chug, and you solve for K. That's one type of question. The other type question is find the formula. After you find K, then they want you to put it back in the original formula. Okay, that's another type question. And then the third type question is going to be 1 and 2. And then they're going to give you more info to plug in. Oops. All right, so there's your 3 type questions. Chances are the test questions are going to be this one. Now, how do you know when to use it? The question will tell you which one to use. It'll say, blah, blah, blah varies directly with blah, blah, blah. Or it'll say varies inversely. Or it'll say varies jointly. So this is going to be where? In the question. All right? So that's given. So what do? Plug and chug and solve for whatever they ask for. The only variable that does not change, and this is important, so I'm going to put it in red. The only variable that does not change is K. All the other variables are going to change because they're going to say, instead of y is equal to K times X, they're going to say, on a construction site, the volume of concrete is directly proportional to the 1/3 of the amount of water used in the concrete, or something like that. And of course, concrete would be C, and water would be what? W, or something like that, instead of X and Y. And it says varies directly, blah, blah, blah. Then it would be C is equal to K times W. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the variables will change, but the only one that does not change is K. Why? Because that is a constant. Let me ask you a question. Let's say I give you a recipe that makes 24 donuts. Okay? And then I tell you, I want you to make 48 donuts.